Importing or linking CAD files into Revit is often performed as a temporary or transitional measure. Perhaps the CAD file is traced over to create a new Revit model like we did in the previous movie, or an existing CAD detail might be used as a starting point to create a new Revit detail. However, it is also common for CAD files to be left as a permanent part of the Revit project. In other words, some parts of the project are modeled in Revit, while others remain simply drafted and embedded CAD files that get printed right alongside with the Revit project. Such an approach is not without its disadvantages, and there are some who do not favor the approach at all. However, it is a common scenario that you're likely to encounter as you transition to Revit, and so in this movie we'll take a look. So I'm in a file here called Hybrid, and it's a Revit model of an art gallery. All of this area here has been created with Revit geometry, but in this area here there's going to be an outdoor sculpture garden. And let's assume that that was created by an architect who's using Autocad, and they're a consulting architect for our firm. We have two choices. We can either take the AutoCAD file that they gave us and we can try and recreate it all using Revit geometry, or we can just simply bring that CAD file in and embed it right here in the Revit project. And that's the scenario we're going to look at right now. So I'm going to zoom in slightly into this area here, go to my Insert tab, and we're certainly going to want to use the Link CAD feature for this type of thing because we're going to want to be able to maintain the ability to reload that CAD file if that consulting architect makes changes to their design. So I'm going to go to Link CAD, select my sculpture garden. Now I'm going to make sure I uncheck current view only because as you can see in the preview here, this is a 3D file. So I want to maintain the ability to see the 3D geometry of the sculpture garden in any view that I happen to look in. I'm going to change the colors here to black and white because I'm going to keep this as a permanent part of my Revit project so that it prints consistently with the rest of the project. I'll go ahead and use all the layers and let it auto-detect everything. And then for the positioning, you really want to coordinate this with the consultant. If you're both using the same origin point, then you should be able to choose auto origin to origin. Otherwise, you're going to have to choose center to center and just move it into position into the correct location. Let's go ahead and try the origin to origin option and see if our consulting architect used the same origin point as our project. So I'm going to go ahead and click open here. And you can see that the sculpture garden came right into the exact location where it was supposed to. So our consulting architect did in fact use the correct origin. Now, if they didn't, it wouldn't be that big of a deal. We could just simply select the linked file after the fact, and then up here on the Modify tab, we could use commands like move and rotate to get it into the correct position. If I go to the 3D view here, you can see that because we unchecked current view only, and I'm holding down my shift and dragging with the wheel, and then I'm rolling the wheel to zoom in, we're getting the full 3D geometry of the sculpture garden, and it fits nicely directly into our project. In 3D, we've still got the color because the 3D geometry is colored, but if I go back to the floor plan view, you can see everything is black and white. When I print the floor plan drawing, I'll get a nice consistent look, and then in 3D, it shows the materials, that orange material being the material that was assigned to the sculptures. The assumption here is that we're going to keep this CAD file as a permanent fixture in the project, and so we're just simply going to use Manage Links to update it as the design changes. And so this is what we refer to as a hybrid project because some parts of it are Revit and other parts of it are linked CAD files.